Okay, Looper. In the future, time travel exists and it's been outlawed. However, the very absolutely powerful mafia and mob bosses send people back in time to be killed. The reason being that if you kill somebody in the future, there's tagging devices and it's really difficult to rid of a body. Well, kidnapping somebody, sending them backwards in time, having them get shot and then the body disposed of, you're killing someone who doesn't actually truly exist. So you get some leeway around it. The way it actually works is the person shows up, they got the bag on, in a kind of a straitjacket. They get shot by a looper who uses a blunderbuss, essentially just like the old-fashioned blunderbuss. It's a close range, devastating shotgun. The idea being, your time says 11:30, you go to your designated spot, you stand there, 11:30, dude pops out, you pull the trigger, flip the body over, take your bars of silver. Take the body, dispose of it. There's a term called closing your loop. That's when you shoot a guy, roll him over, and there's gold bars on his back. The idea behind using the gold bars is that way then you've kind of got 30 years until you're going to be kidnapped and sent back in time to be killed. So that's your very, very basic premise. And of course in the future there's still poverty. Rich people who are part of the mafia are still killing people, doing drugs that are now eye drops. So there are times they're taking these weird multicolored solutions into their eyes, and that's some of the drugs they use. And then of course Bruce Willis comes back to meet younger Bruce Willis, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Pretty solid job on the makeup for it, and he did a really good job with the Bruce Willis mannerisms. I mean, he had a lot of the the winking and the way he furrows his brow. Really good job on that. What happens is Bruce Willis comes back, and ironically, the bag is off of him when he's not. He's in the straitjacket, but he's not zip tied. And the reason why he goes back is there's a new big boss who's taken over that nobody knows anything about. So Bruce Willis has the idea that if he can go back, maybe he can stop this guy's rise to power. And in doing so, he can save the woman he loves and he can save his future. So up until Bruce Willis shows up, it's a very kind of direct film. Then once he does show up, you now see what's going on from young Bruce Willis' perspective, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Bruce Willis, and the back and forth between them. And you also find out that it's not the first time that someone who's closed their loop has been unsuccessful. You see one of those pretty early on, and what happens is whatever happens to the younger version of you affects the older version of you. And what they do to the younger version of one of them is pretty substantial to get the guy to show up so they can kill him, so they can make sure there's no loopholes anywhere. This is a very well done movie. This is probably one of the better movies I've seen in quite some time. It sounds really simple, dude stands there, dude, shoot, body falls back, roll him over, take your money, wrap up the body, dispose of it. But then the idea of actually bringing the time paradox of, well, if you exist at the same time, newer you and older you, if newer you gets beaten up somehow, older you now has additional scars. So they worked that part out really well. I should also mention too, there's also telekinesis. So you have time travel and people have telekinesis, which ranges from like, I can float a quarter, to much more devastating effects.